Before Yellowstone became a park, before America had a name, before any human language could describe beauty or danger, this land was already breathing through cracks in the planet. At dawn, mist rises from the geyser basins, like smoke from a hidden battlefield. Forests stand in silence. Rivers cut through stone. Bison move across valleys with the ancient confidence of animals that survived ice, fire, and the arrival of people. To the casual traveler, Yellowstone looks like wilderness. To scientists, it is something more unsettling, a living archive of Earth's violence. The first great truth of Yellowstone is that it is not simply a national park. It is the visible skin of a vast volcanic system, a place where the deep interior of the planet still reaches toward the surface. Beneath the pools, beneath the boardwalks, beneath the postcard image of Old Faithful, heat from below keeps pushing upward. Water sinks into the ground, touches buried furnace zones, and returns as steam, eruption, color, and warning. The landscape is beautiful because it is unstable. Its wonder is inseparable from its threat. For most of human history, people understood places like this through myth, fear, and sacred attention. Long before modern maps, native nations knew this region was powerful. They moved through its valleys, hunted its animals, gathered obsidian, followed seasonal routes, and lived with a knowledge that did not separate survival from respect. The land was not empty. It was watched, crossed, remembered. Then outsiders arrived and struggled to believe what they saw. Boiling springs in frozen country, mud that breathed, rivers running beside terraces of mineral white, Earth itself speaking through steam. Here is the second truth. Yellowstone forced modern civilization to admit that nature could be stranger than imagination. In the 19th century, reports from this region sounded impossible to many people in the East. Geysers, colored pools, and steaming ground seemed like exaggerations from frontier storytellers. But expedition after expedition returned with evidence, sketches, measurements, testimony. Eventually, the impossible became undeniable. Yellowstone helped create a new idea, that some landscapes were so extraordinary they should not be consumed by mining, settlement, or private profit. In 1872, it became the world's first national park, not because humanity had conquered nature, but because humanity had briefly recognized something greater than itself. Yet the park's beauty hides a deeper timeline. The forests are young compared to the rocks beneath them. The rivers are young compared to the forces that lifted and shattered the land. Human memory is almost nothing here. The Yellowstone volcanic system has produced enormous eruptions across deep time, reshaping terrain on a scale that makes cities feel temporary. The caldera, that vast volcanic depression beneath the park, is not a movie monster waiting to wake on command. It is more complicated, more ancient, and more revealing than that. It tells us Earth is not a finished world. It is an active planet, still writing itself in fire, water, pressure, and stone. The third truth is that Yellowstone is a clock, but not a human clock. It measures time in ash layers, lava flows, fossil forests, glacial scars, mineral deposits, and the slow migration of heat beneath North America. A human lifetime can watch a geyser erupt thousands of times and still understand almost nothing about the machinery below. A civilization can rise, industrialize, build satellites, and argue over borders, while the deeper planet moves with patience. Yellowstone reminds us that our maps are thin drawings on a restless surface. And this is why scientists keep returning. Every hot spring is a clue. Every earthquake swarm is a whisper. Every microbial mat glowing in impossible color hints at life's resilience in extreme conditions. Yellowstone is not only a landscape, it is a question written across mountains and steam. If a place this beautiful is born from violence, what else have we misunderstood about the world beneath our feet? The fourth great truth of Yellowstone is that its most spectacular wonders are created by an invisible war between water and heat. Snow falls on the Absaroka Range. Rain sinks into fractured rock. Rivers feed the ground from above. Then, beneath the surface, that water descends into a labyrinth where pressure builds and temperatures rise far beyond anything visible on the forest floor. The water does not merely warm. It becomes trapped, compressed, transformed into a force. When the system finds a weakness, the planet exhales. That is why geysers feel almost alive. Old Faithful is not magic. It is plumbing, pressure, and timing, arranged by geology with terrifying precision. Water fills underground chambers. Heat from the volcanic system turns the deepest water superheated. Steam bubbles expand. The column above can no longer hold the force below. Then the ground erupts, and a tower of water leaps into the sky. For a few minutes, deep earth becomes visible. Then silence returns, as if nothing happened. But Yellowstone's fifth truth is stranger. Its colors are not painted by minerals alone, but by life. The blue centers of hot springs look like portals because pure water absorbs red light and scatters blue. Around the edges, where temperatures change, microbial communities bloom in bands of orange, yellow, brown, and green. These organisms live where most life would fail. They turn boiling margins into biological maps. In them, scientists see echoes of early Earth, when young life may have learned to survive in heat, chemicals, and danger before the planet became gentle enough for forests, animals, or humans. This is where Yellowstone opens a door beyond America, beyond geology, beyond the park itself. Its hot springs are laboratories of origin. They suggest that life is not as fragile as we once imagined. It can cling to extremes. It can organize itself in places that seem hostile. It can turn heat into habitat and chemistry into survival. When researchers study Yellowstone's microbes, they are not only studying a national park, they are asking whether life might arise in violent worlds, beneath alien ice, beside hydrothermal systems, or on planets that look dead from far away. The sixth truth is that Yellowstone remembers ice as clearly as it remembers fire. During the last ice age, glaciers carved through the region, grinding mountains, redirecting rivers, and leaving scars shaping the land. Imagine a world where cold, not heat, ruled the horizon. Valleys vanished beneath moving walls of ice. Forests retreated. Animals followed, shrinking corridors of survival. Then the climate shifted, the ice withdrew, and Yellowstone emerged, changed again. Fire had built the stage. Ice had rewritten its surface. This double identity makes the park more unsettling. Yellowstone is not one story. It is a collision of opposing forces, volcano and glacier, boiling spring and frozen winter, ancient lava and living forest, predator and prey, creation and erasure. Here, nature does not choose between beauty and violence. It uses both. The same forces that threaten life also create the conditions for it to flourish. The same heat that can destroy rock gives birth to steam, minerals, microbes, and wonder. The same winter that kills the weak preserves balance for the strong. And then there is the seventh truth. Yellowstone is never truly still. Thousands of earthquakes ripple through the region over time. The ground rises and falls as fluids and magma shift below. Hydrothermal features change, appear, vanish, or explode without warning. Trails close. Pools alter color. New vents open. A landscape that tourists photograph as permanent is rearranging itself slowly. That discovery makes the mystery bigger because it breaks the illusion that Earth is a stable stage for human history. Yellowstone shows us the opposite. The stage moves. The floor breathes. The scenery can vanish. And if one park can reveal this much hidden motion, then what else on Earth is quietly changing while civilization looks away? The eighth great truth of Yellowstone is that its wildness did not survive by accident. It survived because life here learned to negotiate with extremes. In the Lamar Valley, wolves move through dawn fog like shadows from an older Earth. Elk listen. Bison lower their heads against winter wind. Ravens watch from skeletal trees. Beneath the beauty is a system of hunger, pressure, migration, and memory. Every animal is part of a story older than civilization, a story in which survival is never guaranteed and balance is never gentle. For generations, humans misunderstood that balance. We wanted nature to look orderly, safe, useful, and obedient. Predators seemed like enemies. Fire seemed like destruction. Floods seemed like disasters without purpose. Yellowstone became a stage where those assumptions were tested, and often broken. When wolves were removed in the 20th century, the park did not become more peaceful. It became incomplete. Elk behavior changed. Vegetation suffered. Riverbanks weakened. The absence of one predator moved through the land like a missing note in a vast and complicated symphony. Then wolves returned, and Yellowstone revealed its ninth truth. Ecosystems have memories. The reintroduction of wolves in 1995 was not simply a wildlife project. It was a scientific turning point, a moment when people began to see more clearly that a landscape is not a collection of separate parts. It is a web of relationships. Fear can shape a valley. Predation can protect trees. Trees can hold rivers. Rivers can shelter beavers, birds, insects, and fish. One decision can echo through an entire living world. This is where Yellowstone becomes a human story. Not because humans are the center of it, but because we keep trying to decide what nature should mean. The creation of the park in 1872 was celebrated as a triumph of preservation, yet it also carried a painful contradiction. The same nation that protected the landscape often ignored or displaced the indigenous peoples whose histories were already woven through it. Yellowstone was called wilderness, but it had never been empty. It was ancestral ground, hunting ground, travel route, source of obsidian, place of story, caution, and belonging. That contradiction matters because it exposes a larger truth about civilization. We often protect nature only after we have first misunderstood it. We name a place pristine after erasing the people who knew it. We call animals resources until their disappearance teaches us their value. We build roads to wonder, then act surprised when wonder becomes crowded. Yellowstone forces us to confront not only the power of Earth, but the limits of human judgment. And still, people keep coming. They arrive by the millions, carrying cameras, maps, fear, curiosity, and the old human desire to stand near something larger than themselves. They watch geysers erupt and bison cross asphalt. They photograph waterfalls carved by time and canyons stained with minerals. Many come for scenery, but the deeper experience is stranger. In Yellowstone, the modern world feels temporary. Cell towers, cars, hotels, and highways seem almost fragile beside boiling ground, ancient stone, and animals that remember seasons better than we remember history. The park is a mirror. It shows us that civilization is brilliant, but brief. Our cities rise in centuries. Yellowstone moves in millions of years. Our politics change in election cycles. Rivers carve patiently through volcanic rock. Our technologies race forward. Microbes still thrive in heat, as they may have done near the beginning of life. The more we study the park, the less it feels like a destination. It feels like a warning disguised as beauty, because the greatest implication has not yet been revealed. That question grows louder, because every recovered species, every closed trail, every changing spring proves humility is not weakness, but survival itself. Yellowstone is not asking whether nature can survive us. It is asking whether we can become wise enough to survive our own misunderstanding of nature. The bigger truth behind Yellowstone is that it is not an exception to the planet. It is a revelation of what the planet has always been. We like to imagine Earth as solid ground beneath us, a dependable platform for our ambitions, borders, monuments, and dreams. But Yellowstone quietly destroys that illusion. Its boiling pools, restless faults, and buried magma show that stability is often only a temporary agreement between forces powerful enough to remake the world. This is the first twist. Yellowstone is not dangerous because it is abnormal. It is dangerous because it is honest. Most of Earth hides its violence beneath oceans, forests, cities, farms, and centuries of human routine. Yellowstone brings that violence close to the surface. It lets us hear the engine. It lets us smell sulfur in the cold morning air. It lets us stand on a boardwalk above water that has traveled through darkness, pressure, and heat before returning like a message from the interior. And that message is older than humanity. Long before our species learned to shape stone tools, long before the first campfires glowed in African night, long before agriculture chained people to fields and cities began climbing toward the sky, the North American continent was already shifting above a deep source of heat. The Yellowstone hotspot left a volcanic trail across the land, marking movement through time like a scar that refuses to close. The continent moved. The heat endured. The surface changed. Deep Earth kept its own memory. That memory is what makes Yellowstone feel almost cosmic. It reminds us that Earth is not separate from the violent universe that made it. The atoms in its rocks were forged in ancient stars. The gravity that holds its mountains also shaped galaxies. The heat inside the planet is part of a larger inheritance from formation, impact, compression, and radioactive decay. Yellowstone may look like a park in the American West, but its story begins with stars dying, planets forming, and matter learning to become worlds. Then comes the more unsettling idea. If Yellowstone reveals Earth as an active planet, it also reveals civilization as a thin surface event. Our roads cross the park like pencil marks. Our buildings sit lightly beside forces that do not know our names. Our laws can protect a boundary, but they cannot command magma, climate, infection, drought, fire, or time. We are powerful in the human world, yet fragile in the planetary one. Yellowstone reduces our arrogance without reducing our wonder. This is why its fires matter. For years, many people saw wildfire only as enemy. Then science showed that fire can renew forests, release nutrients, open cones, clear old growth, and create space for new life. Even devastation had a hidden rhythm. The 1,988 fires shocked the world because they seemed to wound paradise itself. But Yellowstone did not end. It changed. Blackened trunks became nurseries. Green returned through ash. The park taught a difficult lesson. Nature's recovery does not always look like our idea of healing. That lesson reaches directly into the present. We live in an age when climate, extinction, water, disease, and energy are no longer distant scientific subjects. They are the conditions of survival. Yellowstone becomes more than scenery. It becomes a training ground for humility. It teaches that control is never complete, that protection requires listening, and that beauty can be a warning system. The real story is not only what happened here before humans arrived. The real story is what this ancient, restless place is trying to tell us now. Because if Yellowstone is changing, then the question is no longer whether the past is gone. The question is whether the past is still operating beneath us, shaping the future while we mistake the present for safety, permanence, and control. And in that silence, the park stops being scenery and becomes prophecy, written in steam and stone. The final implication of Yellowstone is not that nature is powerful. The deeper truth is that nature is patient in ways the human mind struggles to feel. A geyser can erupt while a child watches in wonder. A forest can burn and return within a lifetime. But the volcanic heart below Yellowstone moves through intervals so vast that human history becomes invisible. Empires, religions, languages, revolutions, and nations pass like sparks over a furnace that was ancient before our species had a name. This is why Yellowstone changes the scale of the soul. Standing before grand prismatic spring, a person sees color, steam, and silence. But beneath that, beauty is a chain of reality stretching backward through glacial ages, volcanic eruptions, microbial survival, continental drift, planetary formation, and stellar death. The scene is not merely beautiful, it is impossible. The blue water is connected to the interior of Earth. The Earth is connected to the birth of the solar system. The solar system is connected to exploded stars. A tourist photograph becomes a doorway into the universe. And then humanity appears, late. We arrive with maps, cameras, instruments, and questions. We name mountains. We measure heat. We track wolves and earthquakes with sensors. We build boardwalks over boiling ground, as if wood can organize our relationship with deep time. Yet the miracle is not that we control Yellowstone. The miracle is that we can understand even a fraction of it. A creature born from evolution has become capable of reading ash, stone, water, DNA, and light. That is the great dignity of the human story. We are small, but not meaningless. We are brief, but not blind. Yellowstone does not humiliate humanity by showing our tiny place in time. It enlarges us by revealing that we can look into the machinery of a living planet and feel awe instead of only fear. We can study microbes and imagine early life. We can watch wolves and rethink the architecture of ecosystems. Knowledge becomes a form of reverence. But reverence without responsibility is only emotion. The park's future will not be shaped by wonder. It will be shaped by climate, policy, science, tourism, indigenous memory, ecological repair, and whether modern civilization can accept limits before limits are imposed by forces larger than choice. Yellowstone asks a question every generation must answer differently. Can human beings love a place without consuming it, visit it without weakening it, protect it without pretending to own it? The answer matters far beyond one park. Yellowstone is a miniature of Earth itself, beautiful, unstable, interconnected, alive with hidden processes, generous and unforgiving at once. It teaches that survival depends on relationships we barely see. Heat beneath stone shapes water. Water shapes microbes. Predators shape rivers. Fire shapes forests. Memory shapes stewardship. And human ignorance, if left unchecked, can break what took ages to assemble. So the ninth great truth is this: Yellowstone is not just a place we preserve from the world. It is a place that preserves a memory of the world before us. A memory of fire before cities, ice before borders, animals before roads, life before certainty, time before history. When steam rises over the valley at dawn, it is not only a beautiful scene, it is earth breathing through an ancient wound, reminding us that the ground beneath civilization is older, stranger, and more alive than we imagine. And maybe that is why Yellowstone stays with us. Not because it answers every mystery, but because it leaves us standing inside one. It tells us that the world was never still, that permanence was always an illusion, and that humanity's greatest achievement may not be conquest, but attention, to look closely, to listen deeply, to realize that our brief moment beneath the stars is fragile, astonishing, and unfinished. Long after our voices fade, Yellowstone will keep speaking in steam, stone, fire, and silence.